Photography students, I'm going to show you how to make this quarantine comic strip with photographs today in Google Slides. And first you have to take some photographs. Think about the craziness of the last few weeks. Quarantine is a bummer, but try to shed a little sense of humor on it. Laughter is sometimes the best medicine. So after you take the photographs, you can get them on Google the way that we normally do. If you want, you can create an album for them, or if you just email them to yourself, text them to yourself, it doesn't really matter. However you get them to yourself. Here's one of the photos I took for the purpose of my kids playing poker here. And then just go ahead and open a new blank slideshow in Google Slides. I assume everyone's probably somewhat familiar with Google Slides, so that's why I chose to use this tool. Although you could do this in a lot of different applications, Google Slides is one that's easily accessible to all of us. So just get rid of the titles right away, and then you're going to just put an image in here, so you can do it through the insert image. I've got these saved on my desktop here under this TP poker file, so I already did the edits, and I did those in Apple Photos here. You can do that on your phone, or you can use the Google Photo Editor like we done. I used a filter here called Vivid Warm, and the adjustments I made it mostly black and white and fiddled with the light and the vignetting a little bit to kind of give it that Old West look. Anyway, do your edits separately from slides, and then once you have a photo you want to put in, like this one right here, that's called Cards Edit. I'm going to just pull it straight in. You can then size it, and you kind of want to think about how you space these things out to make them fill a space and have even spacing between, so it looks like a real comic book. And I'm just going to make this one a little bit bigger so it's easier to demonstrate on. So the next thing to be aware of is to give the thought bubbles. You go to this little shape layer, choose the one that says callouts, and you can do either the speech bubble or a thought bubble. You can put that in and then just kind of drag it out, and there's a couple different options. It's not the one I actually wanted. I wanted the one that looks more like this. So I can kind of go like this, make my son Owen look like he's saying something by pulling this around to the side. It comes in by default as kind of a light blue. So if you don't like that, if you want it just to be white, you can go like this. The outline can be made black, and if you want it to be a little bit bolder, you can do that too. Then just switch to your text tool. It kind of like, well, I say that and it didn't work, but it usually seems to just know that you want to type into the thought bubble, although it's not really working right now. I'm just going to go with it anyway. So we got this. A good font I would recommend using is Comic Sans, and then use caps lock on your keyboard, and then Owen could be, says my son Owen, he could be saying, so you wanna gamble with me, eh? Whatever. There's definitely some like fiddling that you want to do to kind of make the spacing work. So you have to kind of tinker with that a little bit to make it look like it's kind of planned out. Sometimes I switch to this centered justification. Seems to fit a little bit better like that. Some of you guys might see I put these narration bubbles too. The way I did that was just with the shape. You can use a rectangle. I used a parallelogram kind of shape like this, and then you can choose the different color for that. I kind of thought that sepia sort of tan looked kind of Wild West, so I could put a little narrator's information there. If it doesn't make sense to do the thought bubble, it's kind of cool. You can slant this more or less. I kind of like having it stick off the edge like it does in this area too. So anyway, that's kind of how you put together. The last thing I wanted to show you is you can actually crop a photo. So what you would not ever want to do, this is like the holy sin of Photoshop, would be to distort a photo like that. Never do that to make it fit. What you want to do instead is use this crop button. and that allows you to just trim a little bit as needed to make it fit your space just how you want. So if I wanted to cut this one down a little bit, and then the universal thing with crop tools is to double click, and that kind of cuts the edge of it for you like that. So when you're all done, hopefully you have something that looks kind of like this. If I could take you through this, I'm going to go into present mode real quick so you can see it a little bit better. But it says, nope, not too much to do around these parts. Nope. How about a round of poker, partner? The Quarantine Cowboy and the COVID Kid find themselves stuck in the saloon without much to do. What do you say we make this interesting? Both players grow mustaches while the cowboy raises the stakes. But little does he know, I forgot to draw the mustaches before the poker game. Anyway, the kid had an ace up her sleeve. I'm all in. So she's pushing all the toilet paper in as if it's a really valuable hot commodity, which it is right now. So once you have that done, the way to save it and get it into Schoology is to say download, choose JPEG. It doesn't give you the highest quality file in the world, but it does save it as a JPEG file, which would allow you to come into Schoology, go into the quarantine photo comic strip. Make sure you read this lesson too. There's well, you already probably are in the lesson if you're watching this video, but there's some good information in there about making comic strips in general, and then just post it to Schoology like so, and then you can get your credit for it. Remember, you have to make some kind of comment in order to post in a Schoology discussion. Hope you guys are doing great. If you have any questions, send me an email. Reach out. I'm sure I can get in touch with you and walk you through any